Spawning up in the top left-hand position as the blue Terran player, representing my insanity, it's Jjakji. And his opponent down in the bottom left, the red Zerg player from Team Liquid, none other than Snute. The score currently 1-0 up to Jjakji. This is a quarter-final game, I correct myself, and yeah, it's in the Go for SC2 monthly finals. Now, the important thing to note about these two, and this is really important, is both of them are WCS EU Challenger players. They both qualified. Snute qualifying this weekend, Jjakji qualifying last weekend. Both in pretty cool style, and yeah, that's going to be cool times. I'm going to be casting both of them in Challenger League in the Premier Up and Downs. This will be occurring on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd of January and the following Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be casting all of those with my Insanity's Penguin, and it's going to be awesome, so make sure you tune into it because, yeah, it rocks. Now, in terms of openings, we should be seeing Snute go for a 15 hatch up into a spawning pool. Meanwhile, Jjakji appears to be going for a command center first. Nice move. Whether he puts on the high ground, okay, it should be on low ground now. The reason being is that he's lowered the supply depot, and it's such a tiny advantage, but it's an advantage. Getting that supply depot down means that your SCV can come straight across it as opposed to going round it. That is just how fine the margin of error and just how refined these builds are from players at this level, and that's the sort of thing which really always makes me go wow. Like, some people are fascinated by their incredibly high APM. Some people are amazed by their decision making or multitasking, but one thing that really makes me go wow is little things like that, because that's the sort of thing where my simple brain would never ever, when playing StarCraft, if I hadn't seen someone else do this, go, if I lower that supply depot, I'll save myself 0.05 seconds. No, my brain wouldn't do that. That's next level shit right there. Anyway, as we see, drone coming down here, just taking a look, make sure there's no bunkers or anything nasty like that. Proxy barracks or strange shenanigans. Of course, Jjakji is 1-0 up, so you can never be too sure that you're not going to just die. Snute, of course, is the sort of player who likes going to the later stages of the game, so we may be seeing more macro-orientated build out of him now. But all in all, this is looking pretty solid. Jjakji playing very, very macro-orientated. Gas up now, doing everything as possible to basically get ahead in the mid-game. No real safety nets here. His first Marine only just getting produced now. Where we saw previously in this matchup, obviously a CC first quite commonly, it used to get followed up by a couple of additional barracks just to get a ton of Marines out. But now Terran players feeling a lot more safe against Zerg, and well, they just happily sit there and get some tech, get a factory down, start some Hellion production, go, oh, I've got a bunker, what more do I need? It is risky, there are concerns to it, but nothing which most Terran players aren't fine dealing with. Now, Snute, interestingly, knocking down these rocks, and I say interestingly because the third base taken by Zerg players tends to be this one. But Snute actually going to go around and take this one, which is protected by the rock tower there. Now, the reason this is pretty cool is because it's unusual, and it may not go unscouted by Jjakji. It may not come and check down here. Obviously, you can defend it very easily with the rock tower down, so that's cool. It also means Snute can take his fourth. Acheron Waste is a map where you can easily take 4 bases. Jjakji feeling confident though, getting down a third CC, and this is the standard greedy Terran play, where you go CC first, racks, gas, factory, third CC. You really skim on anything to stop yourself dying. You've got 2 Marines out at this stage. If there was a bailing bus coming and you die, or you most likely die. That's why scouting's really important to know what's coming, and of course that's why we saw Jjakji come and get some good information, took a quick little look at everything coming through. Now Snute should be starting up his speed once of course he's got enough gas there. His third hatchery is on its way down, one speedling checking every which way. Meanwhile Hellion's just coming across the map, just getting a tad bit of information about what's happening. May try and poke, may try and prod. Snute only droning at the moment. He doesn't have any defensive lings currently. 3 out on the map, but they're not too concerning. It's the queens that are going to do most of the defending at the moment. So double evolution chambers are down. That means double upgrades can get started once they're completed. Snute as expected, pushing up quite nicely. Jjakji scouted out the third base nice and early. And this is the problem with taking that third so fast, is these rocks have only just gone down despite Snute attacking them for what seems like an eternity. Now Snute has two separate entrances to try and defend, which can be a little annoying, as opposed to just defending this area out there. So Jjakji up at 6 Hellions at the moment. He does have double engineering base coming down. That's in a response. Oh, actually, no, he hasn't seen the double evolution chamber. Okay, so he's doing that anyway. Still more signs of the greedy play as his third orbital command floats over. Jjakji now adding in some more production. This is where he starts getting a bit more safe. But yeah, double upgrades for Snute. He's looking solid. Melee upgrades to be expected. He's getting his lair down, so he should be going up into Mutalisks off the back of this. Snute also droning like a boss. 11 drones simultaneously in production, taking his 5th and 6th gas. Queens having a bit of a fun time poking away at these Hellions, but do have to be a tad careful since there are 6 of them down there now. They can be a little bit more problematic and a little bit more than a minor inconvenience. Jjakji with his own double upgrades coming down, finishing up his starport, will do the old switcheroo, get some medevac production started. Snute, on the other hand, Baning Nest coming down. His lair nearly finished, so Spire should be coming down. In addition to that, nice little move by Jjakji, healing up those Hellions because why not? Repair's a good trick to use if you've got any kind of mech down on the field, and something which unfortunately a lot of Terran players don't utilise unless they're going full on mech. Now, 1-1 upgrades, of course, nearly done at the moment from Snute. Jjakji a little bit further behind. He's still got about 100 in-game seconds until that's done. Another smart little play here, moving his army outside because he wants to go for a push so he knocks down the rocket tower as his first 2 medevacs are about to pop. Jjakji waiting actually to move out just for a couple of seconds, so the medevacs are going to be there in time. And what we may see is some more drop play coming down from Jjakji, or the start of drop play just to come in. We've got, of course, the double overlord placements of more overlords all around any drop position that could be coming in, but a push straight down the middle may go unnoticed. Of course, creep tumors are still here. Jjakji potentially could spend a scan to get rid of those, but instead just pushing straight in. Scans up on the high ground to see what's there. Sees a lot of Zerglings coming down, but Jjakji's army looking pretty solid. The Banelings could be devastating though. Nice wraparound there by Snute. Massive Baneling hits, and Jjakji doesn't even escape with 2 medevacs full of units. Wow, that was some beautiful play with those Lings and Banelings. Jjakji takes some big losses there, trading costs ineffectively, losing about double what Snute did. But this drop's still ongoing, still being a bit of a pain. Snute being forced to make a lot of Zerglings to defend against this. The Queen needs to start working away at those medevacs. Few Lings being kept at the 3rd just to make sure it's safe. But Snute, he's also got his 4th up now and is looking pretty comfortable. That was a beautiful defense of that pressure. Very nicely done by Snute, and that really was amazing. Anyway, Mutalisks are now coming down. 2-2 upgrades getting started for Jjakji. 2-2 upgrades, already a 3rd done for Snute, so he's got a solid upgrade lead. He's also getting the +1 air attack and a macro hatchery, so great production on the cards for him at the moment. Jjakji starting to ramp up the Widow Mine production. Of course, Widow Mines for the splash against the Banelings and Lings, very good. Also, immune to defense. If you get a great little defense of Mutalisks, if they clump up, couple of hits go off, suddenly those mutas have to retreat or they die. Of course, the upgrades from the Marines critical against the Mutalisks as well. Getting that infantry attack upgrade just makes the DPS spiral out of control against mutas, because Mutalisks in ZvT very rarely, if ever, get the carapace upgrade. Now, Snute sacrificing or suiciding a Mutalisk over those Marines there. Jjakji good to pick that off. That's 100 gas and minerals down the pound and never did anything good for our Zerg player. But Jjakji pushing on in, got a good number of mines, putting some around the back just in case a flank were to try and come through. But what he's doing for the moment is clearing out a bit of creep and then retreating. But look at what this has caused Snute to do. 22 Banelings coming through. That is a ton of gas soaked up that's not going to be used in Mutalisks. So already a pretty nice play there. Snute probably sitting wondering, okay, hang on, where are all of those units? Where have they gone? I want them because they were attacking me and now they're not. Worrying. Anyway, a couple of Marines going up there. Mutalisks will find them though, of course. A handful of Marines aren't too scary against a big flock of Mutalisks. But Jjakji coming around the back. Needs to be careful, that is a lot of Banelings. The Widow Mines trying to burrow but will not get down in time. Suddenly, Snute with big Baneling rolls just melt through that infantry army. Full retreat being utilized by Jjakji, trying to just survive this off. The Banelings do detonate on some marauders. Nice move there, pulling the Marines back further. A lot more Banelings going down on that wall up. That means they all do get cleaned down. One manages to connect, but the Mutalisks still pressuring in. Jjakji fine though. A lot of Banelings down, and a drop at Snute's fort is currently occurring. A couple of drones getting wiped out. Only a handful, and with those Marines coming back, should be safe. The Mutalisks are the bigger problem because they can stop this drop play really hardcore style. So really Jjakji just trying to do any damage he can. Unfortunately, he doesn't manage to get a single Mutalisk there, loses the meta back, and really that drop killed 2 workers, and that was it. So that's all she wrote there. Jjakji attempting to take a 4th base at the moment, knocks out that Overlord, but creep has already been generated. That'll take a while to recede. Meanwhile, Snute going up into Hive Tech, getting his +2 air attack, and is just looking pretty solid. The Mutaflock up at 22. Now where it's concerning, that's a lot of them, these odd missile turrets aren't going to be able to stop a flock of Mutalisks, but obviously 4 all clumped together defending the 3rd base most certainly will. So, Marines just still dancing around, trying to hold watchtowers and whatnot, all looking good. Love the fact that Thor's being added into the composition by Jjakji. That's going to really help him against the Mutalisks, because the Mutalisks now won't be able to clump up. They've got to magic box and spread out to avoid the splash damage from air. But by spreading out, it means that the Marines can focus them down a lot easier. And, of course, the Marine DPS starting to get crazy. 2-2 done, 3-3 half finished. Snute's 3-3 not yet started. Bearing in mind that Snute was ahead in the upgrades, he's now running into some problems. Snute though, with some speedlings, attempting to take down this base. A lift instantly goes down from Jjakji just as he's about to die, so he will save it. All the SCVs and mules repairing, like the good little workers they are, keeping it alive. But yeah, Snute's 3-3 not begun because the Hive only just finished. That's giving Jjakji about just over a 2-minute advantage in that 3-3 upgrades, which is unusual considering the fact that Snute was a fair way ahead in the upgrades throughout the rest of this game. Now, Jjakji currently losing a few reinforcements to this very large flock of Mutalisks. Now 29 of them on the field. They're fairly scary, but with Drilling Claw Widow Mines sitting around ready to burrow up anywhere they so please, and a Thor down on the field, you've got to be fairly careful as a Zerg player with your Mutas. They can very quickly die, and once 3-3 kicks in for these Marines, they die even faster, especially with Stim, and that's scary. But what is also scary for Jjakji are Ultralisks. Ultralisks, terrifying. They deal huge amounts of damage. If combined with a couple of good fungal growths, suddenly everything goes mad. Now, Snute, decent number of Banelings down the field, morphing more in. Also got Adrenal Glands coming down. That's going to really aid those Zerglings in their DPS, especially once the +3 melee attack kicks through. Snute's creep spread is worth noting as well. Jjakji, as he's cleaning it out, realizing that, hang on, he is doing a damn good job of that. Pushing over halfway across the map with creep. Very frustrating. That gives Snute such great information about where Jjakji's army is moving. Anyway, Jjakji just takes a scan, realizes that, okay, there's a 5th base down there. He ideally wants to take it down, but he's got to be a bit careful. Widow Mines are burrowed. Detonation starting to go off now. A lot of Banelings hit by those Widow Mines. Unfortunately, a lot of the Marines also taken out. Snute charging through this army. His Widow Mine flock huge. The Thor vaporized, even though it did get a couple of good volleys off. The Mutas are still up, sizable in number, but a second Thor seems to scare him away with the aid of those Marines. So a pretty even trade there. Jjakji losing slightly less than Snute now, but that is a considerably closer resources loss difference than you'd expect in a 19.5-minute equal game of ZvT. So Jjakji doing alright, definitely looking fairly solid. His income good, he's a base down, but that's normal. Snute not yet mining from his 5th either. So actually, they're currently on pretty similar income. Snute though, maxed out. Ultralisk coming, +3 air attack also on its way down. And the 3-3 upgrade's about to come in. That's the other thing worth noting. That last engagement, Jjakji had 3 duos, Snute did not. That's a big upgrade advantage. However, Snute leveling that out now, and that means the next trade should be a bit closer. This legendary Marine is able to discover that, yep, there is a 6th base now coming down. I'm sure Jjakji's going to give it an attempt to take that down. But he's got to be a bit cautious with just how much Snute has on the field. But Jjakji is also now maxed out. He's got a handful of Thors in there to help deal with the Mutalisks, going up to 3 Thors, which I think is really nice. It means they can't get focused down too quickly, and they do still cause a bit of an issue towards the Mutalisks that Snute has. So, Banelings rolling forward. Good splits though from Jjakji at the moment, but a whole army of Changelings running their way forward. Snute also attacking the fourth base of Jjakji is not going to be able to kill it, but does manage to rack up a handful of worker kills there. This is all about positioning now, denying expansions while keeping your own alive. Jjakji and Snute doing a good job of it on both accounts currently, which seems a bit contradictory, but they're both going at each other. They're multitasking fairly huge. And remember, this could potentially be a warm-up for WCS Challenger. Now, Zerglings are going to be able to take out a Thor here and a good amount of infantry. Not enough healing coming through. 3-3 Adrenal Glands, terrifyingly effective against everything, or so it seems. But Jjakji dropping down here at the 5th base of Snute, picking off a couple of workers of his own. Worker count only 70 to 65. Thors and Widow Mines coming in will scare away the rest of those Lings. And unfortunately, one lone burrowed Zergling will stop a command center landing. So, as this goes, very close game still. Resources lost, incredibly close. 1,500 resources difference at 22.5 minutes. Basically nothing. So, what is the current tally? A lot of Mutalisks have been killed off, but Ultralisks replace them. That's good. Snute's drone count's still very high. Needs to make sure that his expansion's still going, because these two expansions can literally be on the same screen. That's how close they are, and that means that a lot of fighting going to be going on around there. But the other problem for Snute, not so much for Jjakji, is that he's got these two bases at the top. A drop can come in there, and of course if his army's trying to defend down here, he's got to be on both sides of the map at once, whereas just a small 1 medevac worth of units can put an end to a hatchery up on the edge here. So something that Snute's got to be cautious of, and why their static defense is looking so good. So Missile tried scaring away those mutas, a handful of Marines coming over there too. But all in all, everything looking fairly good for both sides, neither one taking a monumental lead as of yet. We are very much in extremely late game situations now, being at the kind of 24-minute mark, and both players are full tech, full upgrades. But lord, is that a lot of Banelings. 57 of them on the field. Snute is going to go most likely for a massive wraparound with Zerglings and Banelings. Just come from every angle so Widow Mines can't deal the splash they need, and try and annihilate Jjakji's army. But Jjakji has a tremendous amount of production capabilities. 8 barracks, 3 factories. That's just going to be churning out units. So many reactors down on them too. It's ridiculous. 6 reactors on those barracks. So yeah, that's 12 Marines every production cycle. Banelings coming in towards the Planetary Fortress. Going to take out a huge number of SCVs there. The Ultralists trying to hold on through the Planetary. The Banelings able to finish the job. A base goes down for Jjakji. Luckily, he's got some spare, though. That is a lot of bases for Jjakji. He's just going to keep floating them back. Anyone who's watched Blue Peter will know what I mean there. These are some he prepared earlier. He just whips out from under the table. And, of course, Snute is going to have to go crashing back through. But what was good for Snute was he picked off a good number of workers. Unfortunately, that 2,900 gas banked up for Jjakji is probably all he needs for quite a while. And with all of these orbital commands, he can mule like a beast. That means that actually losing some SCVs means he can make more army supply, and more army supply means he's less likely to die quickly. That's good for Jjakji. So Jjakji losing his SCVs isn't disastrous, but it will still hurt his income. Down comes the Thor hammer, as well as the mule hammer, and well, this is Jjakji going in. Jjakji also going for a nice little drop here, but my goodness, that's a lot of static defense. It's a shame that units can just be lifted to the other side of it. So, Snute having to dash over there to try and defend. Baneling is rolling on in, but if Jjakji's paying attention, he can stop those things too much. But unfortunately, his attention is down to the south, where he's trying to pick off an expansion here. Current foot of Burrow Banelings trying to have a bit of fun, and well, a hatchery is going to go down. Ultralisks there. Detonation goes down on a few more of these Ultras. That's what they're really good at, is tanking up those Widow Mine hits. Banelings trying to roll through to the Thors, getting lifted and evacuated out of here. Another Planetary Fortress up. Bunkers trying to hold, but Snute pushing forward. He doesn't quite have enough, though, to take it home quite yet. Ravens on the way out, and this is where things start getting ridiculous. 27.5 minutes into this game, and basically we are into ultra late game now. And while they're not mining out the map, they are in the process of doing so. All of the expansions, bar this one, have now been taken. The resources starting to dwindle away, especially for Jjakji. He's pretty much used all of his minerals that he has available, because while they give you a massive income boost, they also make you run out of resources in what seems like double quick fashion. Snute, on the other hand, taking what arguably should be Jjakji's base up here. And that's leaving Jjakji a base down currently. That's going to be a little frustrating for him, but it's not the end of the world. Armor upgrades coming for these Madals. That's going to reduce the DPS of basically the Marines up against them. Going to make them trade a bit better if they do get into a fight. It also means they can do better against these missile turrets. But currently Snute just tanking through, trying to knock them down. Now can go for the orbital command. Picking off that orbital command and a couple of SCVs, good. Jjakji's gas income, still pretty solid. He's still got a good bank of gas. It doesn't really seem to be getting lower. But it certainly will, because he's currently producing 3 Ravens at a time and 2 Thors at a time. That's a lot, but Snute, he's pushing in from multiple angles now. Planetary Fortress starting to work away at these Ultralisks. Are the SUVs going to repair in time? The answer, yes, they will. But Banelings coming in from the back. That's going to get some good detonations down. Quite a few SUVs die. The Planetary Fortress getting low. Marauders and Marines are not able to save it. At the same time, the Orbital Command of what was the third of Jjakji is going to be crushed. Ravens may be there. Seeker missiles could go down, but the Ravens being allowed to live currently as PDDs are thrown into position. Unfortunately, that PDD energy will go down fairly quickly. A few Thor hits will go out, and again, Jjakji just replaces the Orbital Command, the Planetary Fortress he just lost, with another Orbital Command. So, just has a lot of replacement bases, should he need them, a lot of mules, allowing him to get his SCV count incredibly low. So while Snute appears to be 70 supply up, the army supply pretty damn even, actually in Jjakji's favour. Which just means head-on fights going to be solid. But Jjakji's mineral income, very low. He needs these minerals pretty much as much as he needs oxygen. He needs that to resupply, but he's moving in to try and take out this top base. Banelings rolling from the side. There's a lot of Madals coming through. I heard the healing beat of a few Seeker missiles, but none of them connecting. Snute crushing through. Jjakji is in trouble. He's going to start losing medevacs. He cannot afford to resupply all of this when he is broke on the mineral front. A Thor goes down. That was the last little bit of anti-air. So many medevacs are going to start getting picked apart. And Jjakji, I think, is going to have to concede defeat in this game. Shy of a miracle, because he just doesn't have the minerals to make this work. Snute, though, can't end the game for the moment, but he has certainly gone a long way in doing so. Jjakji down 130 supply to his opponent. And mules are good, but I just don't think mules are that good. That's the problem. Snute is still picking away at things, getting these Ravens again. Such expensive units getting picked off here. And while there are some Marines coming through, they're not going to help too much. The Fire Banelings were revealed, unfortunately, by those Ravens. But Snute now pushing in. Jjakji down to only 48 supply. Those Lings alone can clear out the Marines without any medevac support, let alone the Ultras and Madals pushing forward. GG should be coming down any second from Jjakji. And Snute will level out this series to give us yet another ace game of every series so far I've cast. Ace games all the way. So, Jjakji just waiting for the moment, but I really don't see him being able to do anything. Snute is over double his army supply. He's still got all the bases, and he's just crushing one of the last mining bases of the Terran player. Jjakji, though, holding on for dear life. GG's out now, though, and Snute levels out the series. What?